By far, one of the coolest things about playing games as long as I have is just seeing the progression of my favorite hobby. Going from barely recognizable sprites to hyper-realistic 3D graphics is just a trip. As well as a reminder that I am getting old and that my eventual death is slowly creeping towards me. But in the meantime, I am greatly looking forward to the next major innovation in video games. I'm secretly hoping for a Ready Player One type headset. A man can dream, can't he? One of the biggest jumps would definitely be the switch from cartridges to that of the CD-ROM. It allowed so much extra space for developers to play around in. Already being very story and visual heavy, one genre that greatly benefited from this change was that of the role-playing game. In fact, today, I'm going to be reviewing the first JRPG to be on the CD-ROM format. Hey there, this is Megablade J, and this is my review of Far East from Eden. Far East from Eden is a turn-based JRPG. It was developed by Red Company and published by Hudson Soft for the PC Engine CD on June of 1989. As a quick review, the PC Engine CD, or TurboGrafx-CD as it was known in the US, was a CD add-on for the original TurboGrafx. It was one of the first CD-based consoles that were released on the market and allowed this system to play CD-based games. Anyone who has been following my channel for a while will know that Red Company was the same Japanese studio that made Sakura Wars as well as the Galaxy Frontline Yuna games. The story of Far East of Eden was based on the Japanese folktale of The Tale of the Gallant Jiraiya. The story takes place in an ancient version of Japan called Japan. Long ago, a giant demon called, and I'm gonna horribly jack up this name, Masakado ravaged the land and almost conquered Japan. That was until the Fire Heroes, a union of 3 warrior clans, arrived and put a stop to him, sealing him deep below the earth. 1,000 years of peace followed, but now, a mysterious group known as the Cult of Daemon are seeking to revive Masakado and use his power to take over Japan. As a descendant of the Toad clan, you must unite with the descendants of the Snake and Slug Fire clans, defeat the Cult of Daemon, and stop Masakado from rising again. Overall, it was a pretty good story, if not a pretty simple and straightforward one. There's no underlying message or any major unexpected plot twist. You're told at the beginning who your foe is, and you basically spend the entire game working towards beating the crap out of the guy. And I gotta admit, it's actually kind of refreshing to have such a simple and straightforward story. Another cool thing about the story, according to Wikipedia, the game actually parodies and makes fun of a lot of misunderstandings and misconceptions of Japanese culture from that of Westerners. For example, like how Japan is actually what Marco Polo called Japan back in the day. In classic JRPG fare, you pretty much walk into a town, talk to NPCs, figure out where the next baddie is, beat the crap out of them, then move on to the next town, rinse and repeat. That's pretty typical for JRPGs at this time. What makes this game stand out from its peers is the inclusion of animation and voice acting. From what I understand, this was the first JRPG to be on the CD-ROM format. With the extra space, the developers added in multiple animated cutscenes and lines of dialogue. They may seem primitive by today's standards, but I can only imagine this being mind-blowing when it was first released. Even today, the voice lines and cutscenes add an extra charm to the characters and helps flesh out their personalities. The combat plays like a classic turn-based JRPG. Your party and foes take turns attacking each other. You can attack, defend, use items, magic, or escape. As the game progresses, each party member will gain certain unique skills. These can include stealing from or flirting with your foes, or crying for a random effect. I never found these to be really useful, except for very specific instances. On the other hand, magic was very useful. Scattered across the land of Japan are a number of red boulders. These boulders contain the captured spirits of one of the land's protective deities. Free them, and they will grant you new magic. They will give you everything from attack, healing, and status-affecting magic. Most are on your main path, but some are hidden away and require a little bit of exploration to find. It's well worth your time to seek them out, as combat can be very brutal and grind-heavy. Having some good area of effect magic can make battles go way faster. As stated before, Far East from Eden is important for gaming, as this was one of the first JRPGs to be on the CD format. While the overworld may look simple, the game does boast some pretty impressive graphics for its time. The voice acting and animated cutscenes are bright, colorful, and help bring these characters to life. While in battle, enemy sprites are huge and have some idle attack and death animations. Once again, not too impressive by today's standards, but back when this game was released, I have absolutely no doubt this blew some minds. According to Wikipedia, the CD quality music was composed by award-winning musician, and I'm not even gonna bother trying to say his name. He composed music for many movies such as The Last Emperor and Little Buddha. As impressive as this game is, it does have issues that were common with this genre at the time. For example, the encounter rate is very, very, very high. Sometimes you can barely get a few steps in before you're back in a fight. Now, I was playing this on an emulator, so the fast forward button was my best friend and made fights faster and more tolerable. Another negative for me was the limited inventory space. Each character can hold a certain number of items, and you run out of space very fast. This wouldn't be so bad, except this includes your equipped weapons and armor as well. There is a bank where you can store extra items and money, but it's still a pain to deal with. The last major issue I had with the game was that the items and spells did not have descriptions next to them. So it was very difficult to tell what the items and spells did. This was especially bad for the actual spells themselves. In most games, you'll have like Fire Magic 1, Super Fire Magic, Ultimate Fire Magic, but in here, all the names of the spells are Japanese words, which I cannot speak Japanese, so I was unable to tell what each spell did. I was able to memorize what a few of the spells did, but I wound up having to use a guide to understand the rest of them, and that got really annoying really fast. The game was a major success in its home country and led to several spin-offs and sequels for a multitude of different consoles. It even had an anime OVA. I haven't been able to find any clips yet, but I have my fingers crossed for a really bad English dub. I love those. The game was only released in Japan, but there is an English fan translation online. If you want to own a copy, you might want to get it now as the price seems to be rising. As of this video, the price seems to vary from $60 all the way up to $100. Overall, I had a fantastic time playing Far East from Eden. It had a fun, turn-based battle system, excellent art, visuals, and great voice acting. If you're a fan of classic turn-based JRPGs, or just want to experience the first CD-based RPG, I say give this game a try. This has been Mega Blade J. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe for more Let's Plays, reviews, and more of my horrible attempts to entertain you all. Thanks for watching. See y'all next time. Bye.